Hello everybody, this is DearMamaSal on a cloudy Thursday morning. Yay Thursday, for those of you who don't know, I don't work on Fridays. Therefore, Thursday is my Friday, which has to be good. It's 7 degrees here in southern British Columbia, which apparently makes it 45 in American. I am determined that it is spring, and regardless of what the weather is doing. And oh, I forgot my earrings. Duh. And I have to say that I clean forget about songs like April Showers or the fact that there's been snow in April before now, because it's spring now, and therefore I need to be without a coat. How stupid is that? It's going to be a sad day for me today, because I will be saying goodbye to my student, even though he will still be doing another day at the company. But after 3 weeks of having him around, I'm sorely going to miss him. He's been great fun to have around. And as I said to him yesterday, you know, the sadness is you spend 3 weeks getting the knowledge to the level where you can delegate and it makes sense to the student, and then just as they're beginning to do that really well, they got to go. Very, very sad. The other thing I have to say goodbye to is my television set, which I wore out again. I'm very good at wearing out televisions. Some people just, you know, replace them when they move from one television to another sort, like flat screen or whatever. No, I wear mine out. But the question is, do I want another one? And I can hear the voice in my head saying, yes, you do. Because how else are you going to watch the news? And I really do realize that I'm sort of addicted to coming home and turning on the news, and then I sort of have my headphones on editing, and then I also, you know, have part of my mind watching the news. So I sort of multitask that. For those couple of hours that I'm doing the editing, I'm sort of updating myself. So what would happen in my life if I didn't have the news? And by the way, I use it as a means to go to sleep. Wonder if any of you do that. I know they say it's not a good thing to do, but I've done it for so long it's not even funny. So to me, you've got to think about this. I'm about to downsize dramatically in terms of my expenses, and I need to look at, do I want to spend the money to buy a new television set? Now this, I'm sort of thinking this morning, how many people are getting rid of television sets because they can afford to upgrade to the latest, greatest, 86-inch model or something, and maybe they're getting rid of a 36-inch, in which case, yay. So I've got to sort of spend a bit of time having a look at that. Can I pick one up locally? So I think if I can pick one up at a fairly decent price. Now there's another part of me that says that if you don't need the dirty great big one, so to speak, you can actually pick up a television today for quite a decent price. And so I think I need to go look at some of the possibilities here. And instead of rushing to go and get a new television, see what is out there. Have a little bit of sort of discipline about it. One of the things that I always try and remind myself is, how many hours do I have to work to pay for it? So let's try and think about some things, because if you think about it, everything that you buy over and above what you have today, you need to pay for in some way. And presuming that you're living like a lot of people on a limited income, or an income that basically you don't have too much disposable income at the end of it, how do you find this extra money? Now that's going to be my challenge when I retire. How do I find the extra money? Well, I guess one of the ways that I can do that is to sell things. And one wonders what I have in my house that I could sell that would be of value to somebody else. And how many things would I need to sell to be able to, pay for a television? So that's a whole new way of thinking, if you like. Now, I know one of my friends who has gone into the business of buying and selling stuff. Buying stuff at the local wherever, repackaging it and selling it online, or refurbishing it and selling it online, and it's making a healthy living out of it because it's the new economy. Now, I can't help wondering how many of the viewers would love me to go to a flea market, for example. Well, that's not a good place for me. However, I might actually venture up to my local Salvation Army type thrift store. I've got one fairly close to me that I've never been in my lifetime. But I am looking to find a picture frame that I can turn into a blackboard. So that makes me think that maybe I can do a twofer. In other words, go and look for a television and maybe find a picture frame, or go look for a picture frame and maybe find a television. Not 100% sure if that will work, but let's see. Now, I guess I also need to look at the obvious place like Craigslist or something and see who's getting rid of a television. But what concerns me is walking around with cash money for a television set and not knowing where you're going. I mean, how do you know the person you're about to supposedly trade money for a television set? How do you know that's ethical? How do you know that person doesn't have nefarious purposes? For example, they know you're about to pitch up with this amount of money in cash. What if they stick a gun in your face and go, give me the cash? Now, I know it's the what if monster. I understand that, and that's not a good thing. But on the other hand, that's called being expedient. Let's think the risk management here. So if any of you have got any bright ideas that I haven't thought of yet, let me know. Because I am very definitely trying to change my thinking on things. I have to get out of this consumerism mode, high consumerism mode, and think about lifestyle. Now I've got about a year to get that sorted out. But, well, I would think probably 2 years to get it sorted out. But I think of it in terms of a year, because if I haven't been able to do it within a year, then I probably need to start getting my house ready to sell it, which would be very sad. I'm sort of crossing my fingers, because my achievement for the week is nearly over. As you know, I'm trying to get rid of the crud that was in the one drawer in my kitchen, and I've nearly cleared everything now off the stuff that I have to throw away. It's been a very difficult process, and if I'm really brave, I'll just take a deep breath and just deep six the rest, but I don't want to do that. What I wanted to quickly just add in here today was that I could well reach my lowest weight for the year this weekend if I am fortunate. And I say if I am fortunate, we know that if I'm fortunate enough to watch my diet and not go insane over the weekend. I'm really quite excited about it. What I've done is I've upped my fiber intake. I always take one fiber tablet in the mornings, but I found that even though I eat salads and eat fruit during the day and stuff, that really at my age I need to take in even more fiber. So I actually picked up some fiber tabs, some extra ones, some chewable ones, funnily enough, and have started chewing a couple when I get home, and then chewing a couple before I go to sleep. And it definitely is making a difference. Not only that, but I found out that it is curtailing my appetite. Because by the time you've chewed a couple of fiber tablets and had, you need to drink water with them, of course, it really is amazing that it really does fill up your stomach. It confuses your stomach. It makes it think that it's had a full meal. So I have noticed that my intake in the evenings has dramatically dropped since I've started doing that. I've only been doing that this week, and I'm going to give it about a month to see how much difference it makes to my weight. Now, I'm not intentionally changing my diet at the same time. But obviously, if I don't feel like eating, I'm not forcing myself to eat something. Now, for those of you who will start going, that's not good if you're not eating in the evening. Remember that I am eating. I'm just not eating as much. For example, I have a set meal that I take to work every day. I take a few crackers and peanut butter for my mid-morning snack. I normally take a salad for lunch, and then I have a couple of apples that I can chew on during the afternoon. Now, today I'm going to take my student out to lunch, so you can put paid to that diet, or not diet, but that lunch. But the good news is we're going Japanese, which is healthy in some ways. So what I want to see is, will taking the chewable fiber tabs make a significant difference in my eating habit at night when I used to snack a lot. Now I still, as I said, I still do eat in the evenings. It's just not as much. I don't find that I want a full meal, or I don't need as many snacks or whatever. That's what I'm finding. I did check with a nutritionist type person as to is there any negative benefit to taking extra fiber. And of course we're all meant to take lots of fiber in our diet. What I should say is be careful if you're going to do this, but you're not taking a laxative, which is very different from fiber. Because if you take a laxative too often, it can mess with your digestive system completely. And I definitely don't want anybody doing that. But anyway, I do want to say that as far as I've been able to find out, taking extra fiber is not going to do anything but help your digestive system. And the good news is I found that taking it in chewable form, you don't even really think about it. You know what I mean? It doesn't taste yucky or horrible or whatever. It just is quite easy to take. And just remember to take plenty of water. But before anybody goes rushing ahead to do that, let me see how I do and see whether it is significant enough to maybe consider. All right, everybody, have a good day, and goodbyes are part of life, unfortunately. That's what I need to remember today. As much as hellos are part of life, so are goodbyes. So, never mind. This is DearMamaSal saying bye-bye for now.